And here on the coast of Northern Norway, finally we have spring. But I suspect up on the mountains, still very wintry, so I'm going to check it out. I'm going to drive up to the mountains and see what it's like, and then down into a valley, quite remote, with some abandoned houses and stuff. Might be interesting. Now when I look at this scenery and I'm thinking this is still just May, in the middle of May, I'm wondering, will I ever experience a summer again? At least we have great skiing conditions, but yeah, I long for summer. Some warm weather, that's for sure. I've been driving for about 1 hour today and this morning, and still haven't seen any other cars. And that's what I like up here. You can be on your own. Very little traffic up here. It's quite remote. Going to that valley on the other side of the mountain. And we're getting down into the valley here. Here's a border patrol car, because this is the border between Norway and Russia. The mountain straight ahead, that's Russia. And between us and that mountain, there's a river. And that river is the border. There's quite a few abandoned barns in the valley, like this one, falling apart. There's no farming going on in this valley anymore. And this is the river that runs through the valley. And this river is a border river. On the other side there, that's Russia. The great country of Russia. And it's legal to walk into the river. I can walk into the river. Actually, I can walk into the middle of the river. The deepest points, but not further. And in 1990, a Norwegian fisherman did that. He walked into the river, and unfortunately some Russian soldiers on the other side saw it, and they didn't really know the rules, so they thought he was trespassing, but he didn't. Anyway, they came for him, so they came over here. About a dozen Soviet soldiers in 1990. They ran over here into Norwegian territory, about 100 meters into Norway, looking for the guy. But he was a fast runner. He was able to get away. And they even fired some shots at him. Poor guy. That was a international incident. They actually invaded a NATO country there. Those soldiers from Russia had been to Afghanistan, and maybe they had some trouble. And they were used to doing what they wanted over there, and now they were in Norway, or the border to Norway, and they were a little too eager doing their job, protecting Russia, or Soviet Union, back then, 1990. So that was an international incident. Quickly forgotten. Nobody wanted to go further into that. They just wanted to forget that it ever happened. And don't worry that any Russian soldiers will show up here, but maybe I worry a little bit about bears. The brown bears. Because the brown bears in this valley, they are known for their size. Like cave bear size. And up here in the north, they grow larger than in the south. And the bears in this particular area, is some kind of a genetic thing about them. Makes them particularly large. About the size of a cave bear, which is extinct. And very aggressive. Very dangerous. Russia is the largest country in the world, and they have these towers all along the border, from here into the Pacific. I'm not sure if there's anybody sitting there right now with binoculars watching, but maybe. And this is a place where the Norwegians are watching the Russians from up there. You probably have a very good view over to Russia from there. And this is the school in the valley, which has been closed for a long time. In the past, used to be quite a few kids living here in the valley. I'm not sure when the school closed, probably quite a while ago. It's a nice scenery here. Nice place for a school. interesting too. On the other side here of the river, those mountains over there, that's Russia. It would be interesting to take a look inside, and I think it's open. Look here, it's not closed. So I think it's okay. Take a peek inside. Here they have some photos hanging on the wall, showing life in the past. And this is a photo that shows some Russians in the area. And this photo here is the male population of this valley in 1905. Here's the kitchen. Some more photos here. This is a church in the area. I'm gonna drive past it in a few minutes. There's a nice room here. And more photos on the wall. It's always interesting to look at some old photos, I think. This is from 1957, 1935. That's a photo from 1960. Here's one from the 50s. That's their house. Simple life. Here's a diploma. The kids won it in 1962. Some skiing competition. It says here that this place was the first place to get rid of the Germans in 1944. The first village that was freed. Not so strange, it's very close to Russia, so the Russians came here. Maybe take a look upstairs as well. Another classroom. They had really small classrooms, but not a lot of people lived here in this valley. So they had a small school, and eventually no kids left and they had to close it down. We're getting closer to the coast, and not so much snow here. Maybe we will have summer this year after all. It looks promising. And over here we have some remnants from the World War. Something left by the Germans. When the Germans were here in Norway, they tried to make the country into a huge fortress. And when the war ended, they still had 300,000 soldiers here in Norway. So they could have chosen to continue fighting, but they didn't. Yeah, all over Norway you have places like this. Probably was a gun there in the middle. And at the very end of the road there's a nice beach. Quite a contrast to the snowy and wintry conditions up there in the mountains.